Hello everybody and welcome to our last Crusade, or the rise of the new world, or a new world. It may not be the new world. I think I've made that joke before. Episode 11 anime review. This episode we did a lot of talking. It does look like next week we're going to wrap things up with a big fight, which is always a good thing. But no, this episode we resolved the situation. I think it's fair, not resolved it, but we, got clarification on what the hell Iska's going to do, I think his reasoning was a little weak, if I'm being honest. I don't think it completely checks out, and we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, here's to hoping that we get third country established by the people that don't really like their country, although they're fine with their countries, but they want the war to end. I'm still rooting for that. I don't think it's going to happen, but let a boy dream. Anyway, let's jump into the episode, see exactly how everything went down, and do this thing. We pick up where we left off, which in case you forgot, Sisbell is underneath Iska right now. They're doing the hanky-panky, except no, they're not actually, because, she broke into his room instead of knocking the door like a sensible person. Oh no, she's blushing, when she gets off. That's a bad sign, I was going to say competition, but she's not, is she? She's a bit... No, she's not competition. Alice found the newspaper, remember that as we said. So now they've got a misunderstanding. They think that Sisbell is investigating Alice for being in leagues with the Empire. However, that's not the case, obviously. Also, wouldn't Alice be aware that Sisbell got captured and, she got broke out of prison? Isn't that something she would be aware of? Because it was like, oh, my sister's gone missing, I wonder what happened. And it's like, oh yeah, she got captured by the Imperials, then she comes back. Why'd she come back? They just not tell these princesses nothing? No, are they princesses? They're sisters at least. They not tell them anything? Kind of weird. Sisbell thanks Iska and tries to give him this little bracelet thing that I'm convinced must have some magic power, because they kept panning to it like 3 or 4 different times throughout the episode, so it must be important somehow. She found out what happened to him, after she broke out from the papers and the rumours and everything else, as we do know. She says, come with me, I'll guarantee your safety. If you come with, it's good, I'm important, it's okay. He's like, why me though? And she's like, I got no one I can trust, my dude. Which is, kind of true. She feels like she doesn't have anyone she can trust. And then she's like, you know what, I'll be back at some point. She leaves, and is like, I'll come back to get my answer. And she did leave the bracelet behind those. So it's like, Iska, you're going to take this thank you bracelet whether you want it or not. And Iska's just like, I don't really want this, Maybe that's going to get him in trouble. Like, where did you get this bracelet, Iska? And they'll be like, I bought it. I'm very into bracelet. Iska, look at him. Loves his bracelets, does he? Alice and Rin tell Mother that they didn't find anything despite the fact they found the newspaper. They're covering for her now, which is good. Rin says, hey, if Alice goes to talk to Sisbell by herself, she might open up to her and we can get to the bottom of this. And Mother is just like, it's a good idea. You have permission to do that, Alice, and everything. Sisbell, back to her. She's all like, after leaving the hotel, she's like, I will not give up yet, So basically we've got everyone on good sides getting the complete wrong idea. The Illuminati boys, the government of the Empire, whatever you want to call them, they hear from their informant that Sisbell is on her own. At first I thought they were talking about Alice, who literally just got permission to leave, but no, they were talking about Sisbell. And say, hey, their informant says they'll hand her over to the Empire, so that's fair enough. And so they decide to deploy the big robot on a witch hunt. So yeah, obviously the informant is someone who was aware of Sisbell leaving, which isn't a lot of people, right? Like, how many people was that? It can't be a lot. I think, we'll get to it a bit later on, I think it's the older sister, L tier. I think she is the number one suspect. It could also just be the Masked Lord, but that's a bit boring. I'd rather it be L tier. That's at least a little bit more interesting. I think so anyway. The next morning, Team Iska are having barbecue for breakfast, which is fine, I guess. Never considered it, but good on you. Iska, though, is very distracted thanks to last night's events. He doesn't even pretend to hear what the girls are saying to him. And they're just like, that's kind of weird. Even Jin is like, that's kind of weird. The Masked Lord, who we briefly mentioned, meets with L tier, and L tier says that both of her sisters are trying to contact the Empire, which is kind of weird, because maybe, how does she know about both of them, or is she just spreading lies Because isn't Alice like the most likely one to get the throne? So maybe she's like, well, I gotta take them both out, so I'm the only logical choice. Maybe. I don't really know. That's the motive at least. That makes some sense. She asked the Masked Lord for help. She's like, if I can't, kill my sisters or stop my sisters myself, I need you to do it for me. And he's like, can do, my lady. So what I'm thinking is she wants to get rid of them, get them out of the way, to get to the throne without dirtying her own hands, basically. That's kind of what I think's going on. I hope so, because that's more interesting than the Masked Lord just being the bad guy. I think so anyway. He, of course, is all on board with this. Yeah, I'll go kill him, sure, because he's a bit of an asshole. Alice, on her way to go see, Sisbell, on this tour bus by herself, no Reen in sight, which is kind of strange. They stopped the bus, like, oh my god, boom, and I was like, oh, is there a corpse or something? It's just a footprint. They didn't need to slam on the brakes so hard. I guess they could have fallen in and that would have been a pain, but it's not the end of the world. There's some footprints, basically, headed towards the city where, Sisbell and Iska and that are. And Alice is like, this doesn't look like a lizard. I forget exactly what they said, but I'm choosing to say it was a lizard. It's not a lizard. Obviously, it is the robot. That's it is. We find out at the end. It is the robot. I'll tell you that. So Team Iska are now moving hotel completely. Basically because, hey, she can't find us if we move hotel. Good plan, right? Not a good plan. Obviously, we know her ability now. The actual reason, of course, is Iska doesn't want to get his friends involved. So he's going to go meet with her alone after, they moved, so she doesn't know where they are, essentially. They still got to sort out Mrs. Crest. They figure that out, or figure out she remembers it because the sticker starts peeling off. Jin, Big Brain Jin, that's his new name. He realizes, hey, we're in neutral territory right now. We can get items that aren't sold in the Empire because, get items from both countries here. And they're going to get some special sticker, I guess, that traitor used. I forget her name, it's not important. Back in the second arc, yeah. I'm going to get one of them stickers. I would like to think after being tricked once, the Empire would test for that special sticker, or special covering, whatever you want to call it. I'd like to think that they'd learnt their lesson, but hey, maybe not, so there's that. They go to the hotel. Iska is all like, I have to go do something. Jin takes his bag. He's like, Jin, Iska, give me your bag. Which I presume had his swords in, so kind of needs that for what's to come, but hey, Jin does notice Iska acting pretty sus though, keeping an eye on him, so I'm going to guess they're going to find out what's going on. It's sort of what I think anyway. He goes around the corner to meet with Sisbell and says to her, hey, cool, we can have a talk. Let's not talk here because my friends are literally on the other side of that wall and they will hear everything. She tells him what her astral spirit does about, seeing the past or whatever, and he's all like, should you really be telling me that? I'm definitely your enemy. And she's like, it's a show of good faith, and it's like, fair enough, I guess. Also tells him she's royalty, she's one of the sisters. It's like, oh, that's Alice's sister. Crap, I really better not doink this one then. Also tells him what's going on. One of the descendants of the founder, so one of the royals, basically, or one of the astral higher up people in the astral place. Is that what it's called? That's not what it's called. You know what I'm saying. They were going to kill the queen and in turn cause an all-out war with the Empire and in turn kill all the royal family to get control of the place for themselves, basically, and cause mass destruction to both kingdoms and basically just ruin everything. To put it bluntly, they want to ruin everything. And she's all like, let's stop this doomsday together and change the future. It'll be great. We'll have so much fun. And I'm just thinking, her logic is sound, Even if it's only temporary, Iska should probably say yes. He's going to say yes, right? Briefly go back to Alice, who runs into the butler guy. The butler guy, of course, lost Sisbell. And Alice is like, that's pretty sus right there. I bet she's meeting with Iska right now. Iska tells Sisbell, hey, I can't go with you. And his reasoning is because, hey, I want peace negotiation. I want to end this stupid war. And she's like, impossible. First of all, you can't have a peace organization if everything's an all-out war, Iska. You need to stop this to get to the peace thing. And if you help out, maybe they'll be like, okay, maybe not everyone in the Empire is bad. His refusal and his reasoning doesn't add up, in my opinion. I think he's being a bit of a stupid idiot. But maybe that's just me. He says, hey, I know it's an impossible dream, but it's my dream, damn it. And it says that, hey, there's someone just like me in the sovereignty that you can rely on. Of course, referring to Alice, which is good. Masked Lord then shows up and is all like, Sisbell, you are clearly a traitor right now. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look good for her. And she's like, let me explain myself. And he's like, no. And he pulls out this thing, and I don't know exactly what it was. But basically, the long and short of it is she realizes, okay, it doesn't matter if I'm actually the traitor. As long as you can make it look like I'm the traitor, then, you know, that works for you, because we'll lose our standing in the election. You'll get more plus points for you know, outing the traitor. It's a win-win for you. It's a pretty lose-lose for me. So, you know, I've messed up here. It's essentially what Sisbell's thing is. She does a runner, and Iska's just sort of standing there like, should I get involved in this, or should I not get involved? Of course he's going to get involved with it. He's a nice guy. He says, hey, you know, you're on the same side. Are you really going to do that? And he's like, traitors are bad. And Iska's like, well, I'm gonna stand in your way. I'm going to kill you now, I guess. And then the giant dragon mech shows up in front of Sisbell. Iska, unfortunately, is, you know, a few meters away, so I guess he's not going to be... She's dead. He's not going to be able to save her. And he realizes upon seeing the mech, he's like, oh, is that one of ours? That looks like one of ours. Which seems to imply to me that the Masked Lord is the traitor, because obviously he's got the mech on his side. Although, we don't see if he's aware of it, although we just lead up to it. He's like, haha, checkmate, or whatever it is he says. So, I mean, I hope... It seems so obvious for it to be him. You know, I kind of want... L-Tier to be the traitor. I feel like that's more interesting. Maybe that's just me. Although it's the season finale next week, so who cares? But yeah, that was the end of the episode. How I see next week going, maybe Iska will struggle a bit, then Alice will show up and they'll fight together. I'm sure Iska's friends will show up. Maybe they'll find out that he knows Alice and it'll be like, okay, we're cool. With a bit of luck, maybe Alice and Sisbell will both get outed as, you know, working with the Empire by the Masked Lord. And then they'll have to start up their third country and go to war with both the other people and then absorb them, right? And then they'll have a big old happy kingdom, you know? A boy can dream, man. I just want this so bad. I just want them to be happy together. It'll be great. Iska and Alice can be king and queen. Easy. It works out. Do that, please. But no, they're not going to do that. That was the end of the episode. This is the season finale next week, which is kind of weird to think about. This season, fall, has just flown by. And it's crazy. But anyway, let's crack on with my favourite part of the episode. See what it was. I had a real struggle with this, because normally there's a one standout thing. This episode was just a lot of stuff going on. So a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of betrayal, a lot of stuff going on. But what was my favourite? Let's check it out. So my favourite part, this is going to sound like such a weird thing to say, is just how people, like, aren't idiots. Like, other than Iska's reasoning, that was stupid. But everybody seems suspicious because of what they're doing, and the other characters are actually picking up on it. You know what I mean? Which is something that often doesn't happen. Like, they're like, oh yeah, whatever. But no, it's like, yeah, Alice is suspicious, Iska is suspicious, Jin is suspicious, Miz is suspicious, Sisbell is also suspicious. The butler guy is probably suspicious, although it seems like my prediction was wrong. Butler guy is a good guy. So, shout outs to you, butler guy. But yeah, so someone's obviously an informant. Looking forward to seeing who it is. I would rather it be, as I've said about 7 times now, I would rather it be L-Tier. What if it's someone completely different? Like, it's no one, you know. Who can say? I certainly cannot. We'll have to find out. Was kind of hoping that they'd do like the fallout from maybe, you know, Mrs. Crest being discovered at some point, but that doesn't look like we're going to get that in this season. I think it's going to happen at some point in this series, and maybe they'll have to move her. Iska will be like, Alice, I need a favour. Take her, because she's in danger here. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. Don't know when this is going to be out, because currently, you know, as of filming this, Funimation's app is down, which means I can't get the screenshots I need for the background. Obviously, when this is up, it'll all be there. But yeah. What are you doing, Funimation? What am I saying? They always screw things up. I'll see you next week for the season finale of this. Just comment and stuff what you thought of the episode, who you think the traitor is. That's a fun game. Let's do that. But I'll see you next week. Take care, and bye, guys.